Hey guys, how are we doing? Mr. Baragon here again. So, I'm making a quick video for you guys for this next assignment. It's actually not too long. You guys we're looking back at that section that we were working on this last assignment. So, you guys should probably have your notebooks out and, always using Cornell notes, right? So, we're looking back at 522, and I decided to record myself. By the way, I'm getting a little more savvier here with the tech, right? And so you should already finish 568 and 569. That should already had been done in the other assignment. So if you haven't looked back, the assignment for today you guys will have is 570, 5-70, and 571 and 572. All right. So I'm gonna go in this video over 571 because it actually is gonna help you do the rest. And we're gonna probably break this into two parts. So let's get started here. So 570, I'm sorry, 5-71. Okay. So they're saying, look back at the problem from the ancient puzzle, right? They use this symbol called log, right? And it was created by a mathematician named John Napier. And logarithm is the function we're studying here, right? It's the function. It's the inverse of the exponential function. Okay. So in this problem, they want you guys to take these five equations, and you guys are gonna rewrite the inverse. Okay. So how do you write the inverse of this? Okay. So I'm gonna scroll down a little bit down here, just so you guys can see the notes that I have down. So right here where it says methods and meaning math notes, want you guys we already talked about this, but if you want to look at it and remember what is the inverse of a log? It's an exponent. What's the inverse of an exponent? It's a log, okay? So we already talked about this, how we create a inverse function using the graph of a exponential function, okay? So let's take the first one, a. Look at how it's written. We write it as y equals log base 9 of x. And then they want you to write it as the inverse. Okay. So we're going to rewrite all of this in exponential form. Okay. So I'm going to use a different color just so we can look at it here. Okay. So how do I rewrite this? So this is your base, right? Your base is 9. And we switch, right? We're going to switch the order. So normally I have the y equal on the other side, but in this case it's y equals log base 9 of x. So the y is actually your exponent, and then x would have been your answer if we wrote it this way, okay? So they want you guys to write it in the form it says y equals, so they want actually the y on the other side. But remember, we switched everything, right? So we do something actually really interesting because we're looking at the inverse, right? We're looking at the inverse. So we're going to actually switch what we had. So 9 and the y becomes an x because remember we're switching everything, and x becomes y. So my solution to this, what's the inverse function? It would be written this way. Y equals 9 to the x power. This is the inverse of a. Okay? So did you guys see what we did? We switched, we rewrote it as an exponent, and then x and y are switched. We actually switched the variables. Okay, so if you guys need to go back and look at it, go ahead and look back at it. You guys can rewind. I mean, sorry, we don't say rewind anymore. See, that's how old I am. You could go back and look at the video. Okay, so let me try this with b now. Let's try this with b. Okay, so let's try this one more time. This time we have the exponent written already. We have it written as an exponent. And then we have y equals 10 to the x, right? And we're going to rewrite this. So we're going to completely change this, okay? And let me use a different color. So remember, the base is 10, right? So we would write it as log base 10. And then remember, we're looking for the answer. The answer is actually what would give me the exponent. So we switch everything, okay? Everything got switched, right? Because it's the inverse. So we're switching the order. So now this is one we're gonna have to switch the variables here. So we got log base 10 of x equals y. So here's my solution. So what's the inverse? It's y equals log base 10 of x. And that is your inverse of this first equation. Okay. Alrighty, guys. Let's take a look at the next part. Watch the next video, and we're gonna go over the next.